It's my daughter's birthday also. So it's nice to have that.
Okay, we're good.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Kenzie, can you do the roll call?
Sure. Councilmember Seifert.
Present.
Councilmember Culler.
Present.
Councilmember Sander.
Present.
Councilmember Stravens.
Here.
And it looks like Councilmember Van Hees is not on yet.
Fantastic. We'll go ahead and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Culler, would you do the honor?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. I have the agenda for approval. If there's any items you want changed or approved as is.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is. Second.
All in favor? Or any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I think so.
All right. We welcome Chief Soto for his presentation of the local agency reports.
Good evening, council members, and congratulations to our newly appointees and some of our returning appointees. And Madam Mayor, congratulations to you as well. And welcome to our citizens. So I will be reporting on the fourth quarter and then our totals, so everybody knows where we're at for 2025. Next slide, please. So this is just last month. So this is just our total call volume for just December of last month. You can see 84% of our call volume was for EMS. It was a busy month. And I'll get more detailed here. Next slide, please. Again, just a picture of our entire response area for December's call volume. The darker the orange, the busier the amount of calls that we have there. Next slide, please. So our total for the year for 2025 was 25,393. 83% of these calls were for emergency medical services or EMS. Next slide, please. The 2,111 responses we had in December generated 2,545 calls responses, and then our 25,393 calls, I believe, generated 31,381 responses for 2025. If you look down below the last column, you can see that we had 4 units that were over the 3,000 call per year threshold, and Engine 2 was right there, right behind them. So pretty steady running units. Next slide, please. So this is just incident location of the calls. We roughly, if you look at the first 4 stations, Station 8, Station 7, Station 10, and Station 1, those 4 stations represent 58% of the call volume. What can I say? It's busy in those areas. So, next slide, please. So this is our auto aid, mutual aid. The top row is Spokane Valley Fire Department going into other jurisdictions to help them out with the calls, or the closest unit, closest appropriate unit. So we went into District 8 31 times, City of Spokane 30, and District 9 15. The row column below that is when they come into Spokane Valley Fire Department's response area, and they are doing auto aid or mutual aid. And District 8 came in 82 times, City of Spokane 37 times, and District 9 times. Next slide. So this is the overall look for the last 5 years, month to month and year to year. This is obviously the busiest amount of calls we've had ever. We were 5% ahead of last year's. In fact, if you just look at overall, in the last 10 years, our call volume has grown by over 10,000 calls a year. But in 2023, I don't know what happened in 2023. There was just a small little dip of, I believe, like 142 calls. 143 calls, so 0.5% of a slowdown, but it's been a steady climb. December was also our second busiest December on record. So, next slide, please. And again, you can see the red red is a lot redder, and that is generally the opportunity neighborhood within Spokane Valley, with most red is shown. Next slide, please. So now let's just jump into Millwood for the quarterly report. So over the last quarter of 2025, we had 89 responses, of which 82% were for EMS. Next slide, please. The 89 calls, 102 of those generated 102 responses. The 25 responses are in regards to the total amount of calls, incidents in December of 2025, but we're tracking the quarterly report. Of those calls, Engine 2 responded to 81% of the calls in Millwood. So in the percentage that they didn't show up, calls they didn't come in, it was because they were on another call in another district, or within our own district, but at another location. So they did handle the bulk of the calls. Next slide. And then finally, this is the last 5 years, year to year, month to month, with the quarterly report to show you where we're at. We only finished 1.4% ahead of last year, but it's still an increase. And you can see over the last 5 years, it's been just escalating up. And that is your report. I'm here for any questions. Oh, there's one more map. The quarterly map report is the next slide. And then that just gives you an idea of where the bulk of the calls are coming from.
Wonderful. Any questions for Chief Soto?
Yes, sir.
The EMS calls, I mean, they keep going up. The nature of those calls, has the nature changed, or is it the fact that we've got more people?
We got more people, and I would say that that's the biggest thing. It's I've said it before. It's a glass half full or half empty. The way you look at it, being a Class 2 fire department with a WSRB, that lowers the cost of putting businesses here. It lowers the cost of people coming in and getting home insurance. And we're on the east side of the state, so people want to live in our response area. Businesses want to build in our response areas. And that's what we want. That's the good news. But it also generates a lot more population flow coming in from Idaho or even the city of Spokane. And so those generate more calls. So more people, more businesses, more traffic, more calls. So there's nothing though that I could say it's this, that it's just not. It's just been a steady increase all the way across the board.
I just wondering if there's a different type of health concern. They're just all over the board anyway.
No, sir. Just the usual suspects.
There's no leader in that category.
No, sir.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Anything else? Well, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
No, we don't have any other presentations. Were there any public comments concerning action items? Wonderful. Will we need an executive session today?
I don't believe so.
Perfect. This brings us to item number 8, which is the first reading or conversation discussion around the water rates, the 2026 water rates and sewer rates. So we are going to finalize that. We will need to do a special meeting this month, and so we can solidify the dates here at the end of this conversation. But just to pulse check, what I'm bringing forward is just a temporary fix until we get our comprehensive water rates study done, and then also if anything moves on urban that we have to incorporate in it. So I'm just looking to bring something to you on the special meeting that, number one, brings us in accordance with what the sewer contract is. That's just a done deal. A 3 to 4% balanced budget increase, so that's going to be determined by our budget. And the only thing that's outstanding for discussion, and I would love your feedback, is right now we're just at a hold steady with capital improvements. I would love us to consider somewhere between $0 to $1 a month rate, so that's 12 months per connection. And that again is in no way gonna build anything new, but it keeps us moving forward with some actual savings and not just in a stall waiting for another year to see what takes foot. What are your any discussion around that?
Yeah, so I feel strongly we should have capital improvement funds. I had a question, so looking at the comparison budget, 2024 to 2025, do we actually have a sewer reserve? Do we, with each payment, do we put aside a percentage for capital improvement?
For sewer.
For
So-
sewer?
For sewer, no. It's my understanding, no, but I will defer.
I will have to ask Dave, I do not know.
We can bring that information back to you at the special session. Sorry, we're just now uploading and Linda and I have spent the week downloading
Okay, sounds
a
good.
myriad
So,
of details that we did not previously know.
yeah, exactly. So the other question I have, which ties into it, so we have 2 water capital improvement fees,
Uh-huh.
says signed. Why do we have 2? How come they're not combined?
All I know about that I've been read in on is the one that's currently sitting at $6 that I'm trying to increase up to $7, or is it $5 and we're increasing it up to $6.
So,
So that's the only one that I'm aware of, but we can definitely, we'll take notes and bring this all back for special session.
yeah, I think we need to talk about that. So, let's be clear on why we have 2 water capital improvement fees. Currently they total, what, 155, 230, and 61, 949. Is there a reason they're separate? And then yes, we need to, and I would think if we're gonna talk water, if we don't have a sewer reserve that's currently being funded improvement plan, we should talk about that. And we can do it next meeting, special meeting, or we can push it off. But that's disconcerting to me. So,
So what is your thinking on that? Cause we will have the one meeting to solidify before the February bills. So is there something you're wanting me to adjust on top of what I've already said, or?
yeah, so I think we need to, I completely support water capital improvement increase. And also if we don't have a sewer capital improvement fund, let's start funding that, right? And so we have a reserve of 47,000, but I don't see additional funds that went into it. So let's make sure that we're funding capital improvements for sewer.
And would you, so how we've typically treated the water side of that is just a flat rate until we do the comprehensive rate? Are you suggesting a flat rate you'd like to see me calculate into the sewer?
I would think so.
Can you
What do you think, Matt? You're the expert.
I don't know about the money side.
Yeah. So we're at 47,000. I forget sewer improvements roughly, Matt, next 3 years.
Yeah, we replace a pump every once in a while, and I got it in the budget to replace the panel on lift station 3.
Okay.
Once we do that, all 3 will be updated.
In terms of long term though, like cast iron, I forget what Cumber said. What's our cast iron replacement
For sewer?
Yeah, for
Sewer's
sewer.
all PVC,
Yeah.
and we don't really,
Oh, for sewer.
It's not.
Yeah, sewer's
We're
the one
looking
that we
pretty-
have minimal
so
infrastructure,
we're
and then we
looking-
have a contract with Spokane County that they came and
Okay.
codified last year.
Okay, so sewer, we look pretty good for sewer.
it was
Yeah, I've
all
never seen-
updated
yeah.
in the mid-90s,
Okay.
and we don't really know what the longevity is on PVC pipe yet, but so far it's good.
Okay,
And it
so,
was my understanding, if I can, that we have some minimal infrastructure that we keep maintained, but that part of the reason why we're offsetting is that the county has like recently done like the greatest and best of all time type of sewer, and so if anything, they were thinking potentially, but always up for discussion, that eventually we would be probably 10-20 years from now phased out of our, just kind of phasing
All we
into
really
their
put money into is our
contract.
lift stations.
And that we'd stay a water utility, the water side.
so I like this discussion. I think we need to have discussions like this. So
Yeah.
in terms of, are you comfortable, Matt, for a 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Are we covering enough? What I don't wanna see is like with water, where we're substantially short, right? Where we should, so in commercial real estate, what we normally do is we have capital improvement funds, right? You know your roof's gonna go out, let's make sure that we save for it.
Say most, all the money we put into is the lift stations. We don't know how long those pipes are gonna last.
Right. PVC 20 years, is that, do we have industry standards for, is it 20-year pipe that they're expecting?
I would think longer than that, but I mean, I don't think there's.
Sewer pipe. It's not pressurized, right? Water is a little thicker pipe anyway,
Right.
and it's been used. I think it's really started in about the 40s. Around here, I think Vera was one of the first ones in the mid 50s.
Okay.
And I had checked with them on maybe 10, 15 years ago. I said the only problem is they've had with it is because Vera went up the hillside and turning the corners, they should have put a fitting in rather than trying to get that little deflection in each fitting, each angle, and that's where they've had the problem. But that was a lesson learned that you start doing that. Put a 22 in. I mean, put a fitting in rather than trying to, get a little bit out of each joint.
Push it.
But the other issue with it is proper construction. You don't put it in rock. You got to have bedding.
Right.
Pasadena Park has got a piece. They used to have a piece in the boardroom. There's a nice piece of 10-inch. It looked like a golf ball hole in it because it was a rock, and that pipe does move a little bit down there. It just wore.
And just wore.
You just put a golf ball through that hole. Big hole.
So what do you think, Dan? Do we need to allocate? I would like to see some allocation towards a capital improvement fund for sewer, even if it's just lift station.
Well, we've got the 40,
We have
and
47,000.
I don't know what happens, it doesn't look like it grows at all. I mean,
It doesn't.
Do you wanna fold that into the comprehensive rate and the more comprehensive plan? I only say that because it sounds like we're not going to be growing our sewer. If anything,
Right.
last year we made a decision to start migrating towards the county, and so we're being driven now by their contract where we know we wanna stay in the water business. And so,
Yeah.
to me, the capital improvement, if we have a little bit of reserves, would potentially, I would love to see us escalate our capital funds around the water side, cause we are gonna proactively grow that, where this other, we kind of acknowledged at that vote.
Yeah.
We have minimal infrastructure, we're gonna keep taking care of it, but they likely will absorb it as they keep upgrading their system
And we can come out of the general fund, correct?
And we have the reserve that Dan speaks to for the things that we know of.
Right, we have 47. The only thing is, we're not growing at 47. So even if we had a minimal, but as long as we can take it out of general reserve,
And they will receive an increase because we're now contractually obligated to escalate to the county's new contract.
So I
Please, Dan.
think also, looking at the vulnerability of our sewer system, we're they're not going to be flooded. They're not going to slide off the side hill. I think the facilities, as far as I know, are well built and they're stable and they're not subject to somebody's not going to run into them.
right?
So they're it's pretty remote that something's going to happen to those facilities.
It's pretty
besides just
minimal activity we do with sewer.
wear and tear.
So sewer was installed, 1990, I think in Riverway it was, South Riverway it was 1998. Is that about right? What's the oldest in the city? What are we looking at?
If I had to say yes, I'd say 93,
Okay.
maybe.
Councilmember Kohler or Seifert, did you have anything to add? Just wanna make sure your perspectives are heard.
Yep. Any more comments?
Not really. I think we did replace everything back in the '90s. That was the last time the city got home grants out of the community block development grant. So they did everything at the time. It's not pressurized, so it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Right.
Low
risk.
impact.
But now we're approaching, right? So 1990, I'd have to do my math on that, but
I think we just keep
it's
kind of keep watching.
2025.
You got a good point, but I don't know what to anticipate there.
Yeah, as long as we have, and we can, do we ever do like a sewer assessment, Matt? Is there something that we do? How do we tell if there's a leak with the sewer? We can't, can we? It's not pressurized.
I've never seen an assessment.
Yeah.
But we can
We
certainly
clean the pipes
incorporate
clean,
stuff.
quarter the town clean once a year.
Yeah,
You could run a camera through them if you want to.
right.
But we don't have
Okay,
any
well,
blockages or.
Maybe I'm just nervous ninny tonight.
No,
So
I think
as
it's
long-
I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, these are as you pointed out, these are the kinds of conversations we have. Me sitting trying to solidify rates by the February, I'm concerned about balancing budget, and honestly, we know we're gonna need capital improvements for the water, so that's the track I'm trying to do, and then let us jump into deeper planning and assessment is
Yeah.
my thinking.
I agree with that. Yeah, so if we all agree sewer looks good for now, we can take out general fund if we have issues. I would like to see it grow minimally, just so there's something in place. But I'm fine also if we do that next year or the year after.
Like Shauna said, we could, oh, sorry.
Like, we're probably gonna have to do a budget amendment sometime in the
Yes.
next summer. Or whenever, I mean, we seem to do, just move things around. At that time, and if it looks like our sewer is doing real good, could we just put a line item in, we're gonna put 5,000 in the reserve for the heck of it, as far as the.
I already said, well, let me make sure. Let me make sure that is acceptable.
I mean, if you wanna put something in it, if we've
That
got
would be
money left
interesting.
over, it makes sense to put a little bit in.
It would make sense to 2,500 or something over time, that there's a line item that we're increasing the fund.
May I make a suggestion that since we didn't just do a motion and we did not approve anything, so therefore Lynn, to my understanding, cannot just act off of what was just said, but could we put Kinsey to remind us, cause she's got like she'll tell us, hey, when you do that budget amendment, remember that you guys decided that you wanted to discuss a potential line item for the sewer, and we could do it at that time. But since there's no motion, Lynn cannot act on it right now.
Right, I was just
But
gonna check
technically,
on.
we could, we find out, can
Being
we
able-
legally and technically do that?
Yeah,
I don't know why not, but.
yeah, just a question, can we do that?
I don't know about lawyers.
As you say, when we do the comprehensive rate study, we could have them look at the sewer too.
I agree,
Sounds good.
absolutely.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, so looking ahead at dates, the 28th at 1700, which is 5 o'clock at night, works for me. The planning commission is going to go at 6 o'clock, so it would either be that, or the 29th, I'm available 5 or 6 o'clock, or the 30th, again, only available at 5 o'clock because we have a meeting in this room at 6 o'clock on the 30th.
And then, I'm sorry, could you do the both dates again?
Correct. So we're looking at the 28th, 29th, and 30th. 1700. 5 o'clock, any of those nights work. 6 o'clock works on the 29th for me. And this will be a short meeting just looking at balancing the budget and solidifying the rates.
28th at 5 works for me.
I'm good on the 28th of 5.
I know, I'm not prepared.
I'm gonna have to call in, but I'll try.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, so otherwise it's the 30th.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sean. And then you'll look and get back to
Yeah,
us.
if not, I'll call in, but I
Perfect.
think I'm okay.
We only need,
We'll only need 3,
we don't need a 1 plus.
just 3, but I don't actually. I talked to Andy today. He may be back in town for that special meeting, so we'll make it work. And again, it will be a one topic meeting. Thank you very much.
And that's 28th at 5 p.m.
That's what I heard. 28th at 5 p.m. and then we will give the room to the planning commission right afterwards.
Okay.
Wonderful. So moving to action items for consideration, we have a consent agenda. I do want to point out one item. Number 5, 2026 STA appointment. Dan Sander, I just found out today, and I met with the CEO of STA, and usually the mayor is invited to sit on the board, but our Dan has been representing us for multiple years, so I said I'm happy to take it over whenever he's ready, but I would like to keep putting him forward until he chooses to no longer do it. So I have included the STA appointment of Dan board in our consent agenda. Any items you want removed and discussed separately? May I get a motion?
Move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Perfect. Any discussion? All right. All in favor for the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect a unanimous vote for the members who are here today. On to the item of interlocal MOU regarding homelessness services. You may recall that Chud Wendell came and presented to this. This in no way obligates us financially. It is us affirming that we would like to be part of the discussion, and it in no way prevents us from sitting on any other coalition efforts that are going on. So
I make a motion that we engage in the memorandum of understanding with it's just the small cities and
Yep.
county for the shared response approach to homelessness.
eloquently put. Second, any discussion?
I'll second with discussion. I think it's a great idea. I think that it's beneficial for our city.
Definitely.
We
Have a
need-
seat at the table.
We definitely need something.
Absolutely. So I will go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Let it reflect that everybody here has voted. Thank you. I will move forward with Chud to sign on to this and affirm our part of the coalition. I am also working with the existing coalition that is part of the bigger county, and so we'll hit it from a couple angles. With no other discussion, we'll move on to reports. Treasure report, and we have Lynn.
Thank you. Well, I'm finishing up day 7.
And you're still here.
Yeah. I've been working, of course, with Dave on knowledge transfer. That's been the big focus, is getting the transfer of knowledge and the things that he's gained since he's been here. And the treasurer's report, check register, and dashboard, of course, were included in your packets. And just as a reminder, as a cash basis entity, that we will keep expenditures open until January 20th for December. And so in the February meeting, we should have a pretty good idea of where we are ending 2025. So if you can give us a little patience to get there, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Wonderful. Are there any questions on behalf of the council?
So, Lynn, I really like that report that you gave with revenues and expenditures. If I could find it, I would reference it. But that comparison of 2024-25 showing revenue and expenditures,
Page 19.
page 19, I think is wonderful. I think that is very useful for the council and for the citizens. So thank you very much.
We'll keep that moving forward.
Perfect.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, let me add the comment that Lynn has been a true delight to work with, and I look forward to many, many years of her representing us as the treasurer.
Thank you.
Kinsey, clerk, and public records, and code enforcement.
Does it all. So we have been working pretty hard on the public records requests. Since our last council meeting, we had 3 more requests come in. So we are dealing with a lot. Thank you, Brian, for helping me and answering all my questions. We are slowly adjusting to life without Lisa, our fearless leader in our office. But Bridget and Lynn, this is Bridget, by the way. She is our new front girly. It's been going really well. They've both been very good additions and very helpful, and we're very lucky to have them in the office. And outside of just our normal tasks that we have going on in the office, Bridget has been learning how to run the website, and she has been slowly working on revamping our social medias, so like our Facebook and stuff like that, just so it's more up to date and providing the citizens with more info on Millwood. Yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Kinsey. Any questions or comments from the council?
Separate question. So, and Kinsey, you can defer to Mr. Worth. What do we charge per page for
No.
records requests?
The hesitant to speak in open session on it, but the system's gamed by asking for electronic copies. So you can charge by megabyte, which is very minimal under the act. So we don't even really try to come up with a calculation for that amount. And all you get now are please provide electronic copies, so it's scanned in.
Would it be appropriate or useful for citizens to understand the actual cost?
Undoubtedly, because it's not the not to be clear, not in an effort to discourage public records requests, but to understand the impact on the city's budget. Undoubtedly, it's not the production of the documents themselves; it's the time that's spent going through to find them. It's the time that is spent to compile, to review, to redact. Legal does a lot of that, because some agencies have people on staff that do it, but that's all they do. And so your volume of public records requests aren't of a nature that really justifies a single position to do that. But the city has had records requests in the past that went unretrieved by the requester, and we still went through and compiled 13 bankers' boxes of documents that all had to be reviewed, redacted, and provided in accordance with the Act. If you don't do all that, you're subject to potential liability. So it has a definite impact on city operations.
The other thing that I think that we should discuss in 2026 is making sure that council, all commissioners understand, all officers of the city understand what's our obligations to keep emails, for what duration, all of those things. But it would be really nice if we could come up with a good, non-biased way to inform the public of, you have a right to do this, but it also costs money, right? There's an actual cost to it. It's staff resources, it's attorney's fees, things like that. It's just, sometimes it's council and commissioners times two, right, going through emails.
So we are going to have another open meetings training at our next commission/council meeting, because you're spot on, and you're not the only person who has requested a little bit of a primer or a refresher course and stuff. So we were already planning on that. Can we continue this conversation with the record and let me provide a. Sometimes these record requests are not from our own citizens. So telling our citizens over and over again, it may not even have any impact because maybe it's not our citizens. And it also may be very satisfying to hear, oh, yeah, that does hurt, does it? I don't know how much time and effort we want to spend. I feel like, but I'm open to the discussion. I think that there's a consideration to make, if we make it too big of a deal.
Yeah, and
again, it is legally their right.
Right.
Should add the sizable records, some of the sizable records the city's received in the past have had nothing to do with actions by the city council or the mayor wearing a city hat. It's based on their work on a different appointed board or with other agencies that they get the public records request, but because the emails and the records are retained through the city's email, that's where we have to go through and assist in that process. So please continue to serve with STA and other organizations. Just be mindful of your use of the email in that capacity and how it could impact the city in that sense too. So it's a great tool. I think as we talk about in the trainings, it came up at a time in the country where open government was really big and really strong. Every good tool can be used in an opposite direction sometimes and has its opportunities for that. So,
as being on the other side of the table, requesting public documents from the Department of Health, and now they're all online, it is difficult. Because you have to ask just the right question, and if you're not sure of the right question, they'll go through all this. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this, and it's
raise a good point.
More guidance on exactly what do you want. How do you
tend to err on the side of disclosure. That's what the statute presumes. I think a requesting party will get more than they necessarily ask for, because to go through and redact things that might have a key search term takes more time than it's worth. I'll tell you, I have a public records request pending with a state agency that's 2.5 years old. That's inappropriate, and it's not a hard one. So yeah, it's I think you're seeing on the flip side, those that have to respond to it can be a little problematic. The staff here has been really good. We're still digging through documents and gathering, but staff's been very responsive to requests that, in all candor, we're not sure they're actually looking for information as opposed to just kind of going through steps. So that's the right.
But Kinsey and I are taking some classes and getting educated, and we want to share that also with you guys, because Brian will share it at the commission/council meeting, because I do think that the email hygiene is important, and I know even myself has you get an email from somebody and I don't think like, what hat do I have on when I'm answering this email, and now I'm more alert to like, oh well, it has nothing to do with the city of Millwood, maybe I don't use this account. Did that answer your question, council member?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I would of course like to elevate Kenzie. She is going to be a capable filler of Lisa's shoes, which is no small feat, but I also want to spotlight Bridget, who has been absolutely amazing and kind, and just a real delight to work with, and adaptive with the public. All right, facilities, Kyle.
Well, you might have noticed after last month's meeting, the very week after we went out and we tried to implement Dan's idea with the stick and stomps for the reflectors. Great idea. Not sure if it was a little bit of debris on the roadway or the much cooler surface or just the sheer volume of traffic, but they lasted about one night, and by the next day they were scattered all over the road. Yeah. But I had gone after work that night. I had headed up to the Costco on the north side, and they were beautiful. Your headlights picked them up all the way down. You could see it was awesome. But unfortunately, they didn't stick around. But the good news is I got confirmation that all our traffic signal poles and streetlight poles and all the equipment arrived on the 28th of December as anticipated. So we're still looking good schedule-wise. My first date in early January did get pushed because the railroad somehow double booked the crew that was going to be on site. But that's okay because they're still coming out on the 26th of January. Everything is still supposed to be wrapped up by the 6th of February, and still have our original substantial completion date for the 9th of February that I talked about at the last meeting and put in the newsletter. So we're still on course there. We got all the trucks and the equipment switched over for snow. Finally got to do a little de-icing and plowing last week, so that was good. Other activities we've been working on, we had a tree fall down on Stout up here during that windstorm, blocked the whole road. So we got to get that out of the way. Been doing maintenance on all the vehicles and equipment. I've been upstairs here getting offices painted and moving furniture around and getting everybody settled into their places. I've been having lots of meetings and conversations with all the staff about what's coming up. I've also been going through a procurement process, trying to get a maintenance and service agreement together for the elevator, because our 1-year introductory contract maintenance deal on our elevator's up. So we got to go through the process to find qualified people for that. I just finally got, I think, my last email today. So next month I should have a bid tab for you guys to look over and choose. Probably, I'm assuming, the lesser of the two quotes. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
So I had this little picture flash in my mind about Kyle being out there in the middle of Oregon with a toothbrush.
Yes.
Taking my sweatshirt and trying to brush the debris out of the way. So I don't think debris was the main thing. It might have been the cold temperatures, because we stuck them up on Empire in the summer, and man, they were just rock solid for a couple weeks till they finally put the first coats over them.
There's a little bit of moisture.
There was, yeah. We were fighting rain showers and stuff too, and trying to get it when it was totally dry, and Yeah,
Well, thanks for trying.
it was an awesome idea. Next time, if we do it during the summer, it's gonna stick to it. I just know it.
Kyle, I've heard a lot of good feedback from citizens around the newsletter and you managing expectations around when we're going to complete the Argonne project. Did you have any other further updates you wanted to share, or are we just still on pace for February 9th?
I think, yeah, we're still on pace. Like I said, the crews are supposed to mob in on the 26th of January, and it's gonna be Union Pacific crews, it's gonna be Liberty Concrete crews and their sub, which is Midland, doing the electrical and the lighting, wiring and all that stuff. And a couple of the Spokane County guys also on site to help coordinate the traffic signal switchovers and all that stuff, the railroad stuff, the traffic, all that stuff has to communicate together and work in sequence. So it's going to be a collaborative effort with everybody to get that all fired off and working properly.
Maybe we should charge for parking.
That's a discussion. Anything else for Kyle? Wonderful. Matt.
Okay, all the water samples came back good, so hopefully we're over the sprinkler blowout and that part of it. I'll be taking my second round of PFAS samples from New Park this month, and I'm hoping everything comes back good because the last round was fine. I got all of our metering data collected from our pumps and sent that off to the Department of Ecology. That's due by the end of the month. Me, Bryce, and Sam, I got us registered for the truck rodeo. That's on February 25th at Marabou. That's just a bunch of water classes and training. And sewer, nothing to report. Everything's good.
Wonderful. Any questions for Matt? Well, I want to thank both Kyle and Matt for collectively moving everybody, because like you said, they've been doing so much moving, and then they've also been lining everybody up so that we can get read in on everything infrastructure, everything water system, and so it's really appreciated. Thank you very much. All right. Well, planning's Amanda did leave her report into the packet. If you have any follow up with her, please reach out to her via email. That leaves us with Ryan.
Yeah, good evening. We've touched on the primary issues. The only other one that I've been discussing with Mayor Vesey has been resuming work on the procurement policy. Kind of stepped back on development of policies late last year, anticipating the transition in office, and wanted to talk with the mayor about what we want to do from there. But that's when we will get codified, and that way we got our ground rules that we can work from. So we're due on that. So open government, you're not alone, by the way. That's I got one Thursday, I got another one next week. And 'tis the season with new elected, so looking forward to doing it. So that's about it. I think the mayor realized that we talked more than anticipated as in a mayor and city attorney role, and she promised, she goes, I swear we're not going to do this every day. It's okay, we can. It's fine. So no, but she hit the ground running hard, really hard. So appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Did you guys have any questions for Brian?
Any update from the Irvin negotiations?
I have that in my mayor's report.
Not for me.
I'll wait.
Wonderful. So I do want to mention about the policies and procedures. So there was kind of a trickling down and we were on a hold. And I think what we're going to do is probably in March or April, all the teams will get together and do like a universal approach, with the exception of procurement. And then Lynn and I, mostly Lynn, of course, is working on some finance stuff that are more, they just got to get done now and we can't wait for the, all of us to do it together type of thing. So, all right, for my mayor report, quick, but first I have a strategic theme for this year. For 2026, we have Our Future, Our Water. That was actually provided to me by Councilmember Van Hees, and he actually gave me Our Water, Our Future, and then I found out that was proprietary, so we switched it. And so, and why is it even important for us to have a strategic theme? Well, I think it's valuable because we only meet once a month, and I've heard now from multiple council members, you would like to see those meetings come into compliance of 90 minutes or less, or for sure less than 2 hours. And so that really provides us 12 to 18 hours together all year to get everything done. And so I think it's really important that we have that strategic focus so that we're not just getting off on any little thing that comes our way, because now that I've sat in that office for 2 weeks, a lot of things come that way and we can get easily distracted. It also focuses mine and staff's time beyond just normal operation. During budget season, I'm hoping that we can solidify a theme for 2027, so definitely welcome all your feedback as that goes forward. My second item, that's 204, is the 2-meeting ordinance, and this is kind of just a bookkeeping, full transparency thing. Councilmember Stravens and I had a talk during the in between, and he is wanting to withdraw his proposal for a 2-meeting ordinance. As it stood now, it didn't have any details. We have the shell of it, so if any one of you wanted to champion that forward, we could definitely hand it over to you to provide some details, but at this point, it's being withdrawn. And so this is me closing that loop so that people wonder, hey, we were talking about a thing and then it went away. In one of my talks with Councilmember Stravens, and then also in a couple other council members in this last month, the thought was we wanted to we were balancing the tension between provide more time for us to do things than just the 12 hours a month, but also don't put an ordinance burden on you guys for more than 1 meeting a month. And so I'm trying to explore ways that we can increase discourse while not binding you to a 2-meeting obligation. I've done this through the monthly coffee with the mayor. That starts tomorrow at 8 to whenever the last person leaves, but I'll stay here from 8 to 9 even if no one shows up, where citizens can come and discuss issues in depth with me or ask questions or probe a little deeper. And of course, council, you're always invited. If you ever think there's going to be more than 2 of you, then we would of course want to alert Kenzie so that we could do a committee. So too late for tomorrow, but it for future. The other way that we can attack being able to have more opportunities for us to have that discourse without imposing a second meeting on you is committee work. We have Sean Kohler and Tina Seifert who serve in our finance committee, which is mandated by ordinance that we would have a finance committee. But an innovation came from Councilmember Sanders this last month that we're going to start in February, where he asked if we could have a new public works committee. I already meet with the public works team in a huddle every Monday morning, and so once a month we're going to extend that invitation to Dan and then also Kelly, who also expressed interest in wanting a deeper dive in all things public work, is going to start joining us in this ad hoc committee. And the last thing is I am committed to doing public workshops. This is similar in the vein of what Kevin did around the Argonne project, where he had some workshops that was intended for a deeper dive or a substantive dive around an issue with the public. I know that Paul also had some around traffic calming at one point, so they would be in that vein. I hope to have at least 1 or 2 this year, and then of course council always invited to those 2 deeper dives, and we would just declare a special meeting if more than 2 of you went there. So those are my ideas around how we can still have robust conversations and move things forward while staying limited to that 12 to 18 months or 18 hours month or year annually, but also always open for more discussion around that. The third item is the Planning Commission. We have 2 open spots now. You were aware of Savannah's open spot, and then on December 31st, I found out Bobby Beezy's was expiring that day, and there was really not a lot I could do to address that. I have had multiple meetings or correspondence with Chairman Ankeny. We have a good plan. I'm going to attend the January 28th meeting, so in next week or 2 weeks from now, and get recommendations from Chairman Ankeny and then his commission on Bobby Beezy's position, and then bring whomever to you at the February meeting for approval based on the recommendation. On Savannah's, there's really not a lot we can do because our ordinance, and Brian and I followed up on the conversation that took place at the joint meeting. The only clarification really is it says that they may or may not be a resident. And I was thinking in the lines of what I understood Chairman Ankeny to ask was, could you clarify what residency means? But then in talking with Brian, that may be not advisable to be trying to fill it up with a bunch of qualifiers, and that the real basic clarification we have is to choose the may or may not. I'm inclined not to choose the may not. It sounds like from talking to most people, including Chairman Ankeny, no one's inclined to choosing may not. So we really, if we were gonna codify anything, it would be on the side of codifying that, yes, people will absolutely be residents, and I can bring that forward at a future date. But we will need to just figure out what to do, and so that will be also addressed at the 28th meeting, where I will ask the commission what their advisement is on that, and likely potentially open up for a new commissioner and stuff, so we don't run short. So that's where we're at with that. The last thing is the urban water contract. So as we were presented last month, some edits on the contract. That same day, Urban was also being presented similar edits. So those were not agreed upon edits that we were looking at. Like, oh, if we agree to what they're saying, then we're all a go. And it turns out that both we had some things that we wanted to be relooked at or changed or maybe potentially modified. Irvin's meeting also had some, so they weren't okay with how it was stated, and so they have some substantive changes. So we're at a place now that we're getting back at the table, going to have future discussions. No contract is imminent, but we are still ironing those things out. I have met with Irvin's water team, not to talk about this, but just to get to know them and meet with them, and then hope in the next 2 weeks to meet with them on this actual topic.
So I have a comment.
Yes.
So let's make sure in the future that what they bring to us is substantive and that we're not looking at something.
That wasn't them. That was Kevin brought that to us. And they stated during the meeting that, oh, this other meeting was going on. And to be honest, that was blurred to me too. I do recall kind of, but I also believed if we agreed on that. So this is where we're at today. We had a couple changes that we wanted to have looked at, but they also had a couple changes too. And so we're kind of back to, there's no imminent thing, but we are still all committed to having those discussions.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
You've been busy. Good job so far.
Well, thank you so far. But I got my eye on you, Mayor.
Good job so far. We'll see at the end of the meeting, maybe
Yeah.
comments.
Fair. All right, I don't see any actions for us to discuss or any further information. Are there any public comments for today? Yes, please. I think, yeah. And you know the deal, tell us your name, address, all that.
AP 3009 North Willow. I'm here in my capacity as chairman of the Millwood City Millwood Planning Commission. First off, I'd like to say I'm very excited about the new mayor and Councilmember Seifert being here. I'd like to thank the existing members that have been for your service, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. In all my time as the chairman of the Planning Commission, I've never been called by the mayor. I've never been asked for a private meeting with the mayor. And since the November election, I've talked to our mayor 3 times and had a couple of email exchanges. So I'm really looking forward to working with you guys for the future of Millwood. I'm also here, and I know that the mayor brought it up, but I want to give a strong recommendation from the Planning Commission that Bobby Veazey be reappointed for another 6-year term. Just going to throw that out to her husband, so he knows that she's going to be tied up. I think everybody here knows the value that Bobby brings to the Planning Commission. Her years of experience and her history with the city of Millwood is invaluable. I know that when Councilmember Stravens was the chair, that we referred to her a lot when we are planning for 30, 40 years down the road. Well, Bobby was in that position 20 years ago, so knowing the history of why decisions were made, it's very, very valuable. And then one thing that was mentioned tonight is in your strategic planning, I'm a firm believer in strategic planning, and you mentioned that you're going to be meeting with Public Works, and if you find it appropriate. I've got years and years of experience with public works, and I would love to be a part of that.
Wow,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
LaDonna.
LaDonna Dement, 103060 East Empire. And then I didn't quite catch everything on the sewer when you guys were kind of talking about it, but you had suggested that, maybe some more funds would go into it. And I just want to say I would be for that. I think Kyle said he would be for that too. Because even though everything might look good, I mean, natural disasters can happen, maybe an earthquake. I mean, I don't get a lot of them here, but just something more to think about. So that just was my comment on that one. And then were you talking about maybe, because your idea of for, records requests, maybe start charging? Is that kind of what you're thinking? Maybe? No? Okay.
We do. We have that statute. We have the.
Okay. Only if it's electronic, you're saying no charges.
We have a minimal. There's to the extent that you trigger a megabyte full of documentation, but it's pretty minimal.
Okay.
But yeah, we follow the state statute.
I just wanted to make sure on that. And then on the turn, when you guys put the new lights in, will there be an actual turn signal onto Empire? Because even though we can get in that lane and turn when we can get through, will there be an actual turn light there this time?
I believe so. But
Okay, I just wasn't sure. So we just thought we'd ask. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I forgot to welcome all in.
Perfect. We'll figure it out. Council remarks. We'll start with Councilmember Stravens.
Welcome, Tina.
Thank you.
Very nice job, Mayor. I think an excellent meeting. Thank you, staff. Welcome, Bridget. Of course, I think that under the new mayor, I think the open house communication is key, right? And so having commissions, I'm excited about that. Thank you for your service, Mike. I think that I'll second Mike's recommendation for Bobby DC to be appointed. I served with her for lots of years. She's excellent, so strong recommendation.
Thank you, Councilmember Stravens. Councilmember Sander.
Well, I've tried ditto before, but ditto. I think another thing that and I don't know how everybody's familiar with, and maybe Brian can just give us a little more information on it, but there has been efforts by, I don't know, one person or a group of people coming to public entities, East Spokane Water District, perhaps Pasadena, and I don't know what they did in North Origin Avenue, but just raising hell, about wanting public information, like your numbers, your phone numbers, your pay, all the details that is public. But they refuse to fill out the form because it's supposed to be the city's job or the irrigation district's job to fill out the form for them to sign. So somebody's gone through the public works, public disclosure stuff and found places that people are going to screw up. And thank goodness that our staff did a great job. I ran into Kyle and Matt Monday, was it? One day, and they're out there getting more security stuff for our doors to keep people just rummaging through. So that those things are happening, and so congratulations, staff, for putting up with them the first time around. And I guess the sheriff's deputy was the one that really got himself, the first round, but also taking the proactive and God, this is Millwood. We don't need to have all this extra security stuff and peepholes or the holes, what do you call those in the doors so you can see who's on the outside, But that's the way times are changing. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything to what you know about it, but
I'm hoping it's an isolated incident for the most part.
It wasn't just us.
No.
So they're going around trying to find somebody to slip.
Council. Oh, sorry.
So congratulations, staff, for hanging in there and being firm but being polite.
Dan, I'm in the dark. What happened?
Is that something that we? Yeah.
We'll brief you after the meeting.
Okay.
Councilmember
Lots of new faces up here around this board and in the city hall, so I think it's gonna be a good year. And Kelly, to your 2 meeting thing for withdrawing that, I was kind of on the same track, but we can always workshop things in special meetings.
That's what I think.
I felt that it was going to put a lot of burden on staff to
Yeah.
prepare 2 monthly meetings. That was my primary concern was,
Yeah.
especially with the new transition, I think there's enough going on in City Hall without preparing for 2 monthly meetings.
And we're very open.
Yeah, I
Those
mean,
ad
that's
hoc
why I never really
workshops.
had concern about it,
I
Yeah.
agree.
so.
Thank you.
Well, first, I'm excited. Yay, let's do this. Welcome, you guys are like so far welcoming me here. It's been great, you know, and getting everything all worked out and all that stuff. And then just, you guys are doing a great job. Kinsey has my right address now. And just looking forward to working with everybody.
Wonderful. Any announcements? All right, well, our next meeting is scheduled, our official regular meeting is scheduled for February 10th, 2025 at 6 o'clock, but we will be having a special meeting on the 28th at 5 o'clock. Looking for a movement to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
It was 1 hour.